Danny from Your Guitar Academy, and welcome to this video where we're going to go through the kind of main groove of Johnny B Goode as well as that breakdown section. Remember, if you're into the intro and you want to learn that, I've done another video of that which will link here and below, so you can kind of check that out if you want to do that first. But for today, me and the band, we're going through the kind of core groove of Johnny B Goode. Now, you've heard us play the verse and the intro at the start of this video, so I wanted to kind of put these two together because really, when we come into this kind of rock and roll style stuff, it's all one and the same thing. It's just how we can get a bit spicy with the guitar part as you work through it. So the first thing I want to work through with you guys is just the 12-bar sequence. So we're in the key of B flat, and we're basically, because we're in the key of B flat blues, we're going to go through a 1 chord of B flat, a 4 chord of E flat, and a 5 chord of F. And in theory, all of these are dominant 7th chords. Now, if this information is brand new to you and you don't quite understand that, then please do head on to the Guitar Club and check out our Blues Essentials courses where we go through all of this in so much detail. You're going to properly understand how to use this in your own playing, okay? Now, the cool thing about the rock and roll stuff is we really use one groove throughout, which is this. Right? I'm sure you've heard it. I'm sure you love it. And all this is really just the power chord. So it's the B flat power chord. So that's root and 5th. Okay. And all I'm doing is I'm just chugging back and forth with my little finger doing the 6th degree. So that's the 5th degree of the scale. That's the 6th. So I'm going from 5 to 6, 5 to 6. Or in terms of frets in this instance, I'm going between the 8th fret and the 10th fret. Okay. So the right hand's just doing all downstrokes, right? And you're accenting like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So on 2 and 4, you're hitting that little finger. Now, for a lot of you guys, that might be a horrible stretch. You can see how far I've got my wrist. I've got my thumb really flat at the back of the neck, and I've got my wrist right around it. That allows me to bring the wrist around to get that stretch, okay? I've got fairly medium-sized hands, I'd say. So if you've got smaller hands and you find that really tough, then the trick I would use is I would take the 3rd finger away when you add the little finger. So like this. It just feels easier because you don't have to get the stretch between the 3rd finger and the little finger. All you got to do is focus on the stretch between the 1st and the little finger, which is still not easy, but easier. Okay, that's the first thing you guys need to practice with any rock and roll stuff. This track included, just that basic groove: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, like that. Okay, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. Now, once we've got that, it's just about putting that into the structure of the 12 bar, okay? So we're going to do 4 bars on the 1 chord. We're going to do 2 bars on the 4 chord, which is, of course, in this case, the E flat, but same thing. Right, so just that same on and off with the little finger. Then back to the 1 chord for 2 bars. So let's just do all that up to that point, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, that's 1 bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, that's 2 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, that's 3 bars. 1 and 2. Then we're going to go to the 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, then back to the 1 chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we're going to go to the 5 chord, which is the F. So we're going to do it here on the A string. Okay, so that's 8th fret and 10th fret. And the little finger goes on and off the 12th fret. We're going to do that just for 1 bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then back to the 4 chord. Then back to the 1 chord for 2 bars. Now, in kind of blues stuff, you might expect some kind of turnaround. But really in the rock and roll stuff, we don't really worry ourselves with that. It's so fast paced. There isn't really time for any kind of turnaround stuff there. So we drill away at that 1 chord for the last 2 bars most of the time. And certainly in this track, that's what we do. So what I'm going to do with the drums is I'm just going to put together this track for you. So I'm just going to come over to a drum kit. And we're going to go up to this track is something like 140 BPM. So it's super fast. So let's just do it at like 100 BPM. Something like that, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on, I'm going to start on a different beat of the drum there because you can hear there's a little fill. Let's wait for it. Love these little fills. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. This, and now we're 4 chord. Then back to the 1 chord. Then the 5 chord. And then the 1 chord. And there we have it. Now, the only other thing to really say on that bit is it is a bit more swung than that, okay? So at speed, that kind of downstroke thing does start to sound quite aggressive. I would generally stick to that downstroke. But you can also start to just do it in a more of a bouncy way, like a right hand, like this. So I think by almost like strumming through it like that, you do get a slightly more authentic Chuck Berry vibe than if you went the all downstrokes thing. That starts to bring it into more of that kind of rock blues style. But whatever you like the sound of better, essentially. But if I was to strum through that with just down, up, so you can hear this sound. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Down, up, 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 down, up. Much easier going on the right hand as well. All right, which I like. You know, for me that makes me happy there. You know, just down, up, easy peasy. Obviously, make sure to mute all the higher strings if you are strumming like that. So that really is the essence of the verse. Now, as we go into the chorus, we do the same thing, but now we're going to do a little bit of gymnastics when it comes to the right hand, okay? Because we're going to try and do this. And then... So it's, again, this is rock and roll, this is Chuck Berry, this is loosey goosey, like, you know, as and when, but there is a core theme going on here, and that theme is that on the 1 you don't hear anything, and then on the 1 and you go for the lick, okay? And the lick is just simply this. We did it in the intro video. It's just this idea of going. So we're going to literally do the bend up. So this is from that minor pentatonic in B flat minor. Okay, we're going to bend up that 8th fret, a whole tone, pretty much. You can do it. You can get away with a half tone as well if it's a bit too much to push it all the way up. And then we're just going to grab that 6th fret and just play it a few times like this. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So it's in little triplets, right? Triplet, triplet, tripper, or bibber, dee, bobber, dee, bibber. However you want to count triplets, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then we come back to the groove of the chord. So imagine that you've got, for the first bar of every chord, you've got that lick. For the second bar of every chord, you've got the chord. So those first 4 bars end up sounding like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So in fact, it's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're just doing not the extra bit that I did do initially. So just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then back to the chord. So I'll do it again. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3. Right? Then you stick to that same riff every single time, but the chord still changes underneath. So obviously for the next couple of bars, we're on the D, the E flat. So we've got like this. And now we're coming back to the A. Now when we go over to the 5 chord, we're just going to dance on this one for ages, for the 5 and the 4 chord. And then we're going to come back to the 1, okay? To properly demonstrate this, I'm going to use a bit of a loop here, okay? To really kind of help you out to hear this. So let's start with just the core loop underneath, right? So basically the verse part that I just played you through, I'm just going to play it in my looper. So let's do a strummy one. And then back. And then to the 5, 4, 1. I'm going to hit that loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. So as it comes back around, I'm now going to play this, what I do over the chorus, okay? So we can really hear how that sounds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And again. That's a 4 chord. Back to the 1. And then here I'm just going for it. So as you can see, pretty cool part. As you get it up to speed, it feels really full on because you're going from this movement to like that with your wrists. It's a massive shift with the wrists, but you know, it's something you can definitely practice and gradually kind of get used to. So there we have it. So that is how we play through the intro and the chorus of this awesome track, Johnny B Goode. Now let's head back to me with the band and we're going to go through that breakdown section. So there we have it. Let's do this breakdown section. It's not dissimilar to the intro, is it? It's just far more aggressive. The whole thing is really aggressive. So I would group it in kind of 2 parts. So it starts like this. Starts exactly the same way as the intro. But then it obviously moves off. So let's just do this first part. Okay, because it's going to kind of repeat from there. So again, if you've not seen the intro video, I'd highly recommend going through that first because I do talk in a bit more depth about some of the note choices here. But fundamentally, it's pentatonic box 2 in B flat major and box 1 in B flat minor. Now remember that crossover, that understanding of that and how to use that is all available on our Guitar Club via the Blues Essentials courses. We can get you a pathway together that works through that. So go and check it out. All the links are in the description below. So here we go. We're going to go from the flat third to the major third and then walk up the pentatonic box 2. So that's 7, 6, 8. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so in terms of our triplets here, we're doing 1 set of triplets and one with just 2 triplets in it. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's how I would count that bit. Triplet, tripper. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So just on that double 6 note. And then we're going to come down to the 8. Then that hammer on back to the major third, and then down to the root note. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And generally we're trying to get double notes here. So you can see everywhere I can, I'm kind of leaving that bar in. So when I go to that chord, that hammer on from the minor third to the major third, I've still also got the B string ringing out in a bar kind of thing. Okay, and we repeat that sequence twice exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then we mix it up. Then we go. Okay, so it's the same thing, except we're only just doing 1 of that double note at the top. Okay, so let me just play that for you so you can kind of hear what's happening completely there. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and we finish it by then going. or something like that, right? We're just aggressively attacking the chord now, really. Just that double six. And then coming back to that same bend that we've been using all the way through both of these lessons. And that really is that whole part, okay? So if I go through that as one thing, we're gonna go like this. Okay, and then from there it leads into the guitar solo. But here again, you know, I've never learned the Johnny B Goode guitar solo. What I've learned from Johnny B Goode is that amazing intro and this breakdown, because they're the core elements that you need to learn to really get a vibe for this style. Then when it comes to that next bit, as it then moves into the 4 chord, and Chuck Berry's going off on some improvisation, that's what you should be doing. We should be doing some improvisation there, using the licks we've already got. You know. And this is obviously me just playing around with loads of rock and roll licks that I've learned over the years, but the vibe, you can continue the kind of consistent downstroke hitting, getting all those double notes, the mix of the major and the minor crossover. These are the kind of things that I'm, you know, is my real mission, you know, to as a teacher, so that you don't just learn like parrot fashion. You're really understanding what you're doing and allowing yourself to use it in your own improvisation. And improvisation is so hard for so many people because you have to make mistakes to learn. So it's a case of getting good at making mistakes, trying things out. Does that work? Do I like this? Let's put it over a backing track and kind of jam away. So what I'd highly recommend is playing this part as we've just done it, and then going into a little bit of improv. And I'll do a demo for you so you can see a kind of relatively simple thing using the loop I had before. So this is the 12 bar, this is the core 12 bar element, and I'm going to go into the breakdown. So remember, with the breakdown, as you heard with the band does stop, but at least we get a vibe for it here, what the chords underneath would be, right? So I'm going to come round, I'll do the breakdown, and then I'll do a little improvisation. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. All right, you can see there's loads of those same licks, rhythmically just placed in loads of different places, and some of that I like, some of that I really didn't like. It doesn't matter, you know, you're just trying stuff out, you're seeing what fits, and gradually you kind of lose the bits that don't sound so good and gain the bits that really do sound good, and you get better at playing those bits so they sound better. And it's a process of improvisation, and everything we do over in the Guitar Club is all about really giving you the tools to be able to do this stuff, okay? Create whatever you want with this wonderful thing that is the guitar, right? Anyway, so I really hope you enjoyed that song. Again, a massive thanks to the band, Camille and Harrison. They were absolutely amazing players. They worked so well on this track. And I'm just going to go back over to the band now. We're just going to kind of jam out a little bit more of Johnny B Goode, and I'll see you again for another lesson.